slobber and you're crying in the middle of a job like Benihana. Hatchy, hooky, pokey, mozzarella, itchy poo. Reading around the collar, heavy betting at the zoo. You're eating for lasagna on Wonderama with Madonna. Baklava.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, March the 26th, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other Mr. RadioPeteM, Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gents.
Howdy.
Hi, everybody.
How are you two fantastic people on this fantastic evening? That good, huh? All right. Well, don't hold back. I'll say really good.
That sums it up. Yeah,
That's,
listen.
by the way, I feel, to be honest with you.
When does baseball actually start? Is it today? Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Now that's the games in Japan, or
no games in Japan happened last week.
Japan's are long gone.
Oh, that was last week. Okay.
That was last week. Yeah.
Now were they official games?
I'll give you. They were official games, and the Dodgers played. I don't even know who, the Cubs, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a hint. Who won both games?
Not a team from
Japan.
Chicago.
Japan won both.
Japan was the big winner in all of this.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right.
Both literally, figuratively, and
and every other way.
Yeah.
Psychologically. There you go. Anyway, all right. Well, we got a bunch to talk about tonight. We are going to get to some football later on, but tonight is our MLB 2025 season preview kickoff, if you will, show. We're going to get to it right now. But before we actually get to it, though, let's do what we normally do to kick off every show. Let's do our MOTW segment.
Yes, indeed. It's the meme of the week. You know what, you love it. Not Harry, but that just kind of gives us some more reason to do it. So
There you go.
anyway,
it's like opening up with a ballad.
yeah,
Well,
we're Motley Crue, and we're opening with Home Sweet Home.
there you go. Exactly.
All
Get
right.
the crowd right away.
So let's rock and roll. It's the meme of the week. Here you go.
Weather forces Holmes County Spelling Bee to be moved to Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Is this irony?
Meme of the week.
Well, look,
Is it
this is, if you look at it, this is from the Worcester Daily Record.
Thursday.
So Thursday, is that kind of how they say?
It almost
Thursday
looks like
and-
there's room for the H in there.
I mean, I'm
Well-
assuming it's Worcester, Mass. How many
Now,
Worcesters are there?
Worcester, well, Worcester, Mass is spelled Worcester.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's Worcester. So this is somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it could be maybe there's a neighborhood named Worcester in like Brooklyn or something, and they say Thursday.
I will say this: the graphics and the lead up to the meme are great.
But
Except
you know, we really shouldn't be putting down our own segment on the air.
I think we should. I think it's hilarious.
I'm actually finding out where the Worcester Daily Record is right here. It is
Jimmy.
There you go. The Worcester Daily Record. Hold on.
It's part of the USA Today network.
It is part of the USA Today network. It is in. Okay. Well, there's someone in Loudonville. It doesn't say actually.
It's Holmes County.
Holmes County, where?
Who cares? Let's talk about baseball.
Worcester, Ohio. It's Worcester, Ohio.
Oh, okay, Ohio, excellent.
There you go.
All right.
So
there you go. Meme of the week.
Basically, they shouldn't be moving the spelling bee when they can't spell themselves. So there you go.
I don't think they should be having it in Ohio at all. I was just in Ohio over the weekend, by the way, so I have some pictures to show you, which we'll do later on. But I drove the kid back to
Cincinnati. So
I drove him to Cincinnati, so I don't trust the airlines. But anyway, meme of the week is brought to you by the Anti-Audubon Society of Missouri. the Anti-Audubon Society of Missouri, who would like to remind you that birds aren't real.
There you go.
Despite
The
the ones
Anti-Audubon Society of
Memphis, sorry. Memphis, yeah.
Memphis. Yeah. There you go.
I got it confused.
Birds are
I
real.
think Missouri
Other
has
than
the
ones
same.
that are on top of the.
Well, those are fake too.
They're fake birds.
They're
fake.
birds,
the
but they're
owls
fake
they
birds.
Like
Yeah.
the owls that they put on top of.
Yeah, they're not real
buildings
birds.
and that. They're not real.
So
They're
there
real.
you go.
There you go.
Meme of the week. Thank you very much.
Wet birds don't fly
Yeah.
at night.
There you go. All right.
All right. So where do we want to start? Do we want to go to the old baseball?
Baseball. We got to start this baseball preview show.
The Dodgers are going to win the World Series, and there you go.
There you go. All right. Moving on. Next. No. All right. So well, let's talk about baseball. All right. So let's start off with let's get Harry into the baseball mood and sit back for a couple minutes while he talks about his Yankees.
I don't want to talk about my Yankees.
Let's mention the Yankees, and then we can go have a snack.
My Yankees are still in an embryonic stage. This is not. Yeah, come on.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I gotta be honest with you. If you look at the American League, and I don't mean to put anybody down or any team down by this, but if you look at the American League, as many issues as the Yankees have, with injuries, with the lack of some play at positions, they still could go to the World Series.
Of course.
That is the state of the American League right now.
Well, let's not put down the American League that much just because you.
No, I know.
Miracle. The Orioles are going to be better.
It has nothing to do with the Mets.
The Orioles are going to be better than they were last year. Vlad Jr. is going to cut himself down to 3 hot pockets before every game and have a contract year. So Toronto is going to be in play. And let me tell you something. I think the Red Sox are going to win the American League East. So the Yankees might have to come out as a wild card.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I didn't mean that they're going to go to the World Series. I didn't even mean that they're definitely going to make the playoffs. But my point is they have because of the lack of no one clear-cut, great team in the American League, the Yankees have the ability to repeat as AL champs.
They do. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of unknowns. Out of all of their offseason signings, I hope Williams and I hope that I think Bellinger is going to have a breakout year. I think Bellinger could compete for MVP this year, to be honest with you, the way his spring has looked. Really? I think he's going to be a lightning rod for this team. Other than that, there's a lot of question marks. And a lot of my question marks aren't even about the injuries to Stanton. We need Stanton in the playoffs. We need Stanton because that's really all he's useful for.
Right.
Losing Cole is devastating. You can't replace that. And obviously, the Yankees last year, their 3 best playoff performers were Juan Soto, Garrett Cole, and Giancarlo Stanton. And as of right now, none of them are available to play, and one isn't even on the team anymore.
Right.
So when you look at it, Yankee fans, especially younger Yankee fans, are really positive on a lot of this team that they've assembled. Look, I think Austin Wells has also had a good spring training, and I hope he does better than he did last year, because let me tell you something, he wasn't great. Anthony Volpe is an average shortstop at best. Okay. Sterling, Jazz Chisholm. Okay. He had a good start, but he's had 2 mediocre years after having a great year with Marlins. They have a lot of mediocrity and 2 or 3 superstars, which if all goes well, you can win a World Series with them. But there's a lot of question marks. And their rotation, which was a strength, and I think the only thing that they could even get close to saying, okay, hey, we've got a chance against the Dodgers, has been decimated. And, I think you're going to see the Yankees go out if they're close. I think the trade deadline this year has to be super aggressive. And I think you'll go out and see them get a starter and maybe another position player, because there's a lot of question marks, especially with the young people. You got Cabrera at third. You got a prospect in Dominguez, who everybody's hot on, which I just don't see it, who can't catch a fly ball in left field. and an aging Paul Goldschmidt who strikes out a lot. So we'll see. We'll see if they can actually get on base and score some runs. We'll see.
We will. We will definitely see. All right. Heading over to the other side of the city, or another borough, if you will. That would be the team that plays wearing one of the jerseys that I'm wearing, or wearing a jersey that I'm wearing, I should say. I'm only wearing one.
How many other jerseys do you have underneath it? Do you have the entire National League East on tonight?
Exactly. I keep peeling them off as we change teams. But anyway, the Mets. Look, the Mets look good. The pitching staff, maybe not so much. They
scoring a lot of runs.
And they're going to have to, right? But, I mean, the rotation around, let's do the rotation first. Clay Holmes is the opening day starter. He's opening tomorrow. And the rest of the rotation right now, as it winds up, is Tyler McGill, Griffin Canning, David Peterson, and Kodai Senga. All right? Now, Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas are both out.
Yeah.
It's going to be, who knows? Sean Manaea can be back soon. Who knows about Frankie Montas? But I'm sure somebody does. I don't know about Frankie Montas. So, but Sean Manaea, they're saying that he may only miss one start. It's probably going to be two, but he'll be back at some point in April.
Yeah,
so that's fine
that's
too.
Good.
But as far as their lineup goes, this has popped up a bit, and I want to ask both of you this. Pete more so than Harry, because Pete's a Mets fan and Harry's not. But I'll ask both of you anyway. Hold on, I gotta pull it up here. Somewhere up here. I have it somewhere in here. The Mets are. I thought I pulled it down.
Just make it up.
All right, so I'll tell you what it is. Basically, I'm just going to make it up. No, I had the damn thing. Where the hell did it go? Anyway,
act like Shannon Sharp and make it up.
I'm just making it up as I go along. So there's been a lot of talk about comparing the Mets lineup this year to as good as the lineup was in 06. Now, I don't want to compare it too much to the lineup in 06 because we all know what happened in 06, but I'll leave that alone.
Just compare it to what they had last year. The Mets made it to the championship series last year, and they're better than they were last year. That's true.
That's a true story. Anyway, there's been that talk between the two. I can't find it, but whatever, it is what it is. So I can find the lineup. That's not the problem. Obviously, we see the lineup. We know what the lineup is this year. But we're talking about, Paul LaDuca at catcher. We're talking about Carlos Beltran, obviously, Carlos Delgado, and all the others. I think this lineup, and granted, I'm not 20 years removed from, or 19 years removed from that lineup, right? But I think this lineup has the potential to be a lot better even than that lineup was. As good as that lineup was back in 06. With this guy was on it too, right? David Wright. So, who, by the way, obviously this year, ironically, is his numbers getting retired on July 19th. Did want to go to the game? Probably not going to be able to go to the game because the nosebleed tickets in the last row are $500. So, yeah. Anyway, I hear myself in the background. Does somebody have it playing, or somebody's headphones that loud? Yeah, so
you're loud.
Well, I might be loud, but it's not bleeding through my headphones. So because I can't,
I don't have anything on speakers.
Because I can't hear me.
Let's keep going.
Anyway, so anyway, your thoughts, Pete. Your thoughts on that issue? Do they are they better this year? Were they better in 06? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's hard to judge if they're better this year until we actually see them go out and play. Right. Certainly, it's been an exciting spring with a lot of runs scored, and feel good. And we got the polar bear back, and Lindor is looking like he's maybe going to have a good year, at least hopefully equal to what he did last year, and There's some other kid they just signed in free agency. I forget his name, but everyone's really excited about him. So I'm going to say for now, 06 was a better team. Because
I thought,
what you said is that everybody always needs pitching. So you said that, and that's true. But no big shoes have dropped yet for the Mets.
No.
Well,
Statistically, 06 is going to be better because people hit for average back then. People don't hit for average anymore. Juan Soto just got, half of Queens and 17 sections of Shea Stadium, and he hit 280 something. So Francisco Lindor, Mets fans thought he was an MVP last year, and what did he hit? 278. So statistically, even in 06, the numbers are going to look better, but it's about results. Are the Mets? I think the Mets are geared up to be a top 5 team in the National League. Unfortunately, I think 3 of those top 5 teams in the National League are all in the American League East or the National League East.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. They're going to play. They have to play the Braves and the Phillies a lot. Mm-hmm. Now they get the Marlins, which helps, but that's the problem at the Mets.
And the Nationals. I found the lineup. So this is the 06 lineup is, and I'll give you an order too. Jose Reyes, the shortstop. Catcher, Paul LaDuca.
Okay.
Center.
Go one at a time and compare them to who they got this year by position.
So I go. So shortstop, Jose Reyes.
Yeah, Lindor's better.
Lindor's better. Okay. Yeah. Catcher, Paul LaDuca. Right now, Luis Torrens is catching because Francisco Alvarez is out for a little bit.
Regardless, LaDuca's better. 1-1.
Okay. Center fielder, Carlos Beltran. Jose Siri is the Mets center fielder.
Beltran's better.
Well, gotta go Beltran.
Okay.
2-1.
First baseman, Carlos Delgado.
I'll give it to Alonso.
I'll give it to Alonso, too.
2-2.
2-2. Third baseman, David Wright.
3-2, 06.
I didn't even say who it was. Mark Vientos, obviously, is the.
I like Vientos. He had a hell of a postseason too.
Mm-hmm. That he did. Left fielder Cliff Floyd.
Okay. Uncle Floyd is.
You gotta love the Floydster.
Cliff Floyd was a good player.
He was a good player. Is he better than Brandon Nimmo though?
No. So what are we at? 3-3.
3-3. Second baseman Jose Valentin. And right now, it's second base by committee, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow starting is Luis Angel Acuna, and that's against the lefty. Against righties, most of the time it's going to be Brett Beatty.
I'm going to give it to 06. Both were weaknesses in the lineup.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So 4-3.
Okay, and your right fielder in 06 was Andy Chavez.
Yeah. Okay. 4-4.
Yeah.
Okay, so against Juan Soto, yeah, of course. So, and that's it. Now, here's the thing.
And they didn't have a DH in 06. So.
Here's the thing. Exactly. It's 4-4, and we're through the 8 players. They had a pitcher batting in 06, except for the later innings when they could double switch.
So let's compare the starting rotation, and that'll be the decider. So who was the starting rotation in 06?
No, we're talking about lineup here, so it can't be.
No, we're talking teams.
We're gonna have a DH.
No, but you can't compare because they didn't have.
My question was the lineup, not the starting rotation. It was the lineup.
All right. I think it's equal. I think there's more star power on this team this year.
All right, that's kind of where I was going, right? I mean, it's damn close.
The 86 team was better than both.
Look, we all know Carlos Beltran takes that damn bat off his shoulders and doesn't strike out looking on that pitch. The Mets roller skate through the World Series against the Tigers, and they win that. The Mets were the Mets were a better team. The Mets were the best team that year. The Mets were a better team than the Cardinals that won the World Series.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been your insight into the mind of a Mets fan.
Well, they were. Pete, am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're not wrong.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
Thank you. I appreciate
However,
it. Anybody out there, any Mets fans, or baseball fans, and when I'll repeat it, anybody out there that's a baseball fan that's not a Yankee fan, Met hater, or a Cardinals fan.
Yankee fans don't hate the Mets.
No.
It's the other way around. Mets fans hate the Yankees.
I know there's plenty of Mets fans that hate the Yankees, and I get it. I'm not one of them.
I don't think Yankee fans think about the Mets.
There are Yankees fans that hate the Mets. There are. I know them. There's Yankee fans that hate the Mets.
It's hard.
You're not one of them.
It's hard to hate the Mets. Come on, I like the Mets.
They don't win it. They don't win enough.
All right.
Remember last year, the non-Met fan telling you that the Mets were a great team. Me, while you guys poo-pooed it all, and look, they went pretty far. They have a great lineup, and they're. I also think they have more depth than the 06 team did.
They do.
Now their rotation sucks.
Yeah. Now the Mets rotation in 06. Let me pull that up.
But look, Manaea, Senga, I think you can get some 10, 12 wins out of each of them. And it all comes down to the playoffs. And I think they'll be okay. The question I have for you two is, do you think the Mets win the National League East this year?
So the Mets starting rotation in 06.
Here we go.
All right. Now remember we said
it's a preview of this season. And we're gonna go back.
And we go back. Now I just want to
19 years.
I wasn't gonna do it. He brought it up. Okay. Clay Holmes, Tyler McGill, Griffin Canning, David Peterson, and Kodai Senga. Now, granted, two of these pitchers are going to be one of them are going to be out. It's probably going to be Griffin Canning. He's going to be out when Sean Manaea comes back.
So Sean Manaea, and you could put what's his name in there too.
I won't even know. I won't leave Frankie Montas. I won't, because we don't know about him. I'll put Sean Manaea. So Clay Holmes, Tyler McGill, Sean Manaea, Kodai Senga, David Peterson. Here we go.
Okay, lukewarm coffee.
The 06 rotation was Tom Glavine.
Yeah, an aging Tom Glavine.
Right. John Maine, Steve Traxel.
Wow.
Jose Lima, and Pedro Martinez.
Now let's put context to this. Okay, Pedro Martinez and Tom Glavine were the equivalent of Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander plus some.
No. They were both better than what Verlander and Scherzer were for the Mets. They were both better.
But they were both about the same age.
Yeah,
maybe a little young. I think the 06 pitching was better.
The 06 pitching was incrementally better. The bullpen was definitely better.
Yeah. In fact, that team won a lot of close games.
Pretty sure that the closer for that 06 bullpen is in the Hall of Fame. Just saying.
There you go.
You know, he went in as an Astro, but he was still the Mets closer that year. So, and several others, Bobby Wagner. So, the 06 team was great. I love the 06 team. I wish they did win the World Series. I'll give it up now. We've waxed nostalgic about it way too often on this podcast over the last 5 years, but I think I'm excited about this team. I'm really excited about this team. I'm excited to see what they can do. What they had last year, they're a better team than they were last year, except for maybe one or two starters, and they'll get that back. They're a much better lineup, and they're a better bullpen. And so I really believe that, and they got to 4-2 and lost in the NLCS. So,
and I'll tell you something that I think this team might be better than the 06 team. I think they might be better defensively.
You know what? I mean, even though Andy Chavez made that fantastic catch in Game 7 for naught, that was fantastic play. But Brendan Nimmo has made plays like that too. I have to agree with you. They're definitely a better defensive team. All right, Pete, anything on the Mets?
Yeah. Good luck winning the NL East with Atlanta and Philly there, but you know.
Now, how about the 98 Mets team?
I'm shutting your microphone. I'm blacking you out. That's it.
Hold on. The 99 Mets team.
Wait, who is better, Brandon Nimmo or Lee Mazzilli?
Lee Mazzilli, please. Did you see? I
don't know. Mazzilli's got the ring.
He does. He held on long enough.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, you left and came back and held on and went there.
Yeah, because he was like their one star. He was an all-star,
he was
back in the 80s, right?
Yeah, in the 70s, late 70s.
Yeah,
right.
Those big glasses that hipsters wear in Brooklyn now.
He was. but he
The Lee Mazzilli goggles. Yeah.
They did. But the 99 Mets. Quick
I was
aside.
joking, John.
I know. Kudos to the infield for the 99 Mets. All right.
We wonder why we don't have
Best
any.
Best infield ever in baseball. Ever.
All right, Mike Francesa.
John Olerud.
Oh, God.
John Olerud, Eduardo Alfonso, Ray Ordonez, and Robin Ventura. There you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Best Mets infield ever.
No. Statistically, to this day, the best infield ever in baseball that year. Right, those four guys.
Mm-hmm. And what was that? Did they win a World Series?
No, they
didn't.
They won the best defensive infield ever.
Kenny Rogers walked in the winning run in
He's a gambler.
In Game 6 of the NLCS,
and opened up a chicken franchise.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else are we talking about? Are we doing picks? Can we roll through this?
Let's do our picks. So,
all right, National League East.
Hold on, before we get to our picks, because when we close that section out with, I got just a quickie. I had opening day trivia, just a quickie. And then I have a question of the week, MLB question of the week. We'll do one before, one after. So let's do just a quickie before.
Okay.
All right.
5 seconds. Go.
There you go. So, who was the oldest Hall of Famer starting pitcher to start an opening day at 46 years old?
Nolan Ryan.
Harry says Nolan Ryan. Radio Pete?
Charlie Huff.
Charlie Huff. You are both wrong, sirs. It is Mr. Phil Niekro. There you go.
I had the wrong knuckleballer.
You had the wrong knuckleballer, and Harry was close. I think Nolan Ryan was 45. I think, or may actually no. I don't think he actually started an opening day after like early 40s. But yeah, Phil Niekro started an opening day at 46. He's the oldest starting pitcher to ever, Hall of Famer or not. He's the oldest starting.
He's
pitcher
starting for the Marlins tomorrow.
He is. There you go. All right, let's move on to our predictions. This year,
I thought there was a question of the week.
No, we'll do that after the picks, and then we'll move on from there. Okay.
All right.
Our predictions for this year. We're going to go Harry, Pete, and myself in that order. Harry, I'll just say the division. You tell me who's winning it.
Atlanta Braves.
NL East Braves.
Atlanta Braves.
Pete.
Yeah, I'll say the Braves.
You will.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware, Harry, last year you said the Braves.
Yeah.
And Pete, last year you said the Phillies.
Yeah, I almost said the Phillies again.
All right. Last year I said the Phillies. This year I say the Mets, actually.
The Mets. Yeah.
I'm being a homer. The Mets are going to win the division.
That's all right. Nothing wrong
I'm
with
telling you.
All right. Next.
All right. NL Central.
Oh, it's me?
That's you.
I'm gonna go out on a little bit of a limb here and go with the Cincinnati Reds.
Really? All right. Cincinnati Reds. Peter.
Well, tempted as I am to take the Pirates.
You did last year.
Yeah.
By the way, Harry, you took the Brewers last year.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably win it again this year.
But the Pirates, they've got Paul Skeens for the whole season.
They got
so that extra
Skeens.
month. That might be enough.
If Skeens can pitch every game, they'll win it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Those 4 or 5 extra starts might put them over the. I'll say the Brewers. I'll take the Brewers.
You're going with the Brewers, all right? All right. Jersey Johnny is going with the Brewers on that one. So, NL West, Harry. Who would you have to ask?
Next.
Yeah.
Pete, same. Yeah, we all.
Yeah, I'd love to say the Padres, but it won't happen.
I'm going with the Rockies, actually.
Yeah. Diamondbacks, building on their success from 2 years ago, are going to. Yeah.
The three of us are all going
taking the Dodgers. Yeah.
We're all taking the Dodgers. There we go. All right, so let's move on to the AL East. Harry.
You know what? I think it's going to be the Red Sox.
You do you? All right. Peter? By the way, you picked the Orioles last year, Harry.
Yeah, I'd like to pick him again, but yeah, I'm gonna agree with Harry, the Red Sox.
All right. Yeah, you picked the Orioles. Both of you picked in fact, all three of us picked the Orioles last year. And all three of us are picking the Red Sox this year.
There we go.
So there you go. All right, moving on to the AL Central. Harry.
What teams are in the AL Central? No, I know. I'm being funny. I think the Kansas City Royals.
Okay. All right, the Royals. Harry picks the Royals. Pete.
I don't know. This could be the White Sox year. You know what? I'll take the Tigers. Why not?
And both of you, by the way, last year picked the Tigers. So you're picking the Tigers. Pete, you're sticking with your pick from last year.
Yeah, they're my favorite team in the division, so why not?
There you go. I am sticking with my pick from last year, and that's the Guardians. So,
And they actually won it last year, didn't they?
And they did win it last year.
Yeah.
All right. AL West, Harry.
This is tough. I think I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just a word of, just a note, a point of interest on that, on the Rangers. DeGrom is back this year for the Rangers.
He is.
So he will be pitching this year for the Rangers. Pete.
For at least a couple of weeks.
True.
I'll stick with the Mariners. Why not?
You picked the Mariners last year?
Yeah. I'll just keep picking them. They got to win sometime.
At some point, you're going to be right.
What will happen first? The Mariners will win the AL West, or I'll die and the show will no longer be. You know what stops first? The Mariners not winning streak or the show?
Our show, yeah, there you go. That's true. How long can we keep the show going so that you're right 1 year?
Yeah,
the Mariners
eventually I'll have to be right.
Let's call it like that. All right, let's not be morbid. Let's call it like that.
Call a home run every pitch. You'll be right eventually.
There you go. All right, I'm agreeing with Harry on that. I'm going with the Rangers. Actually, I think the Rangers are going to do it.
All right.
Now, normally we do wild card. We pick the wild card teams. Do we want to pick the wild card teams this year?
Sure.
All right. Wild card 1, wild card 2, wild card 3 in the National League. Harry.
National League.
National League.
Let's see here. Wild card in the National League. I'm trying to think. So the Brewers will be one. The Mets will be another one, and the Phillies will be the third.
You got the Brewers, the Mets, and the Phillies. All right.
Leaving out the Padres is tough, but
I know. All right, Pete.
I'll take the Mets. I'll take the Padres, and I'll take the Phillies.
Phillies. Okay. All right. Jersey Johnny is picking the Braves. The Phillies. Because all three teams are going to be in, no matter what order. There are all three teams in the NL East are going to be in there. And the Giants, actually.
The
nice.
San Francisco Giants. Interesting.
Right. There you go. All right. Switch it to American League wildcard teams. Harry.
Well, I'm going to go Yankees, Guardians, and Astros.
Yankees, Guardians, and Astros. Oops, hold on. Let me put that in here because I'm typing, folks that are not watching this video. You're just hearing me typing Astros.
Or the Assos.
Oh, the Astros. I was going to say. The Astros.
I guess I'm just hoping for the Assos.
I think you are. Pete, your three American League teams. Where?
Let's see. I'll take the Guardians. I'll take the Rangers. And I'll take I'll take the I'll take the Yankees.
Guardians, Rangers, and the Yanks. All right. Jersey Johnny is. I don't keep talking to myself in the third person.
Yeah,
I like it.
I kind of like it actually.
Yeah.
Johnny's getting angry.
Johnny's getting angry. Jersey Johnny is going to be
Johnny's taking the
picking.
Yankees.
Jimmy jumps high.
There you go. I'm taking the Yankees, the Royals, and the Mariners. Actually,
All right.
there you go. I'm telling you, Yankees, Royals, and Mariners. I'll just finish typing this here, and it's a little trick of mine just to keep talking while I type, so it doesn't look like I'm wasting time. Okay,
Gotcha.
who is winning the NLCS, Harry?
The Dodgers.
All right, Pete, who's winning the NLCS?
Tempting. I'm thinking Cardinals, but I'm going to go Dodgers.
You know, one of your pick was the Cardinals.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going Dodgers.
Well, it's smart. That's a way of getting another team in there.
In there, just see how he didn't pick
Just see
him,
how it works.
but he got him on the other side.
I
Right?
That's
am the
right.
king of hedge. There's no question about that. When you don't know anything, you have to try and cover as many bases as you
When
can.
not only did you not think about it, but you forgot what you just said. Then you go with the Cardinals.
All right.
Well, it's true. I was thinking about the Cardinals.
You
Yeah.
were, but you didn't take him.
No.
All right. So who are you picking?
Oh, the
Go with the
Dodgers.
Cardinals?
No, I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
All right. The Dodgers, and I'm being a homer. I'm telling you. I don't know why. And I'm sure that's what this-
M-E-T-S, Mets.
That's the Jets cheer. We don't do that.
I know.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Their cheer is "Meet the Mets." That's the dumbest fucking song
that's
ever.
That's the song.
So how does the Mets cheer go?
L.
Let's
go Mets. Let's go Mets.
All right,
Let's
so
go Mets.
So you just copied everybody else. Okay.
What else? Should we write one? Let's come up with. You know what? That's our chore. People write in. We'll put this up as a poll on the Facebook page. Write in.
METS. METS.
Yeah. Let's come up with a new cheer for the Mets, and we'll get it to Uncle Steve and see if we can get it going.
Come on,
All
you
right.
fuckers, go! Come on, you fuckers, go!
I think we have our winner. We don't have to do the poll
Yeah.
right there. There you go. All right. ALCS, American League champs, Harry.
I think that God, I hate this. I think it's going to be the Red Sox.
Red Sox are going to the World Series against the Dodgers, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
Peter?
I'll
Cardinals.
take.
Pirates.
I'm thinking about the Athletics.
The Carney Cardinals.
I'm gonna take the Detroit Tigers.
All right. Well, you got them in there. So
I was thinking about the Lions, but I'm gonna take the Tigers.
Yeah, you picked the Lions too.
I'm picking the Bears. You pick the Lions and the Tigers. I'm picking the Bears. There you go. Whatchamacallit? The Red Sox. Harry's right. The Red Sox
Wow.
are going.
Crazy.
Are going. So Harry has Red Sox Dodgers World Series. Pete has a Tigers
Cardinals.
Tigers Dodgers World Series. Tigers Cardinals.
No, it's Cardinals Pirates World Series.
Cardinals.
For
For the first time ever, two National League teams are going to play each other in the World Series. It's a weird there's a little weird thing in the wild card round that can cause this. If the Earth rotates backwards.
It's an
You'll see.
underused caveat. There you
That's
go.
right.
You'll see, I'm right.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
And I have a repeat of the '86 World Series with the Mets playing the Red Sox. All right, and then Harry, who's winning the World Series between the Dodgers and the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's just I can't. It's a fool's game to pick against the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, why do we play? Just give them the trophy
win.
and let's go play golf.
Yeah, I mean, trust me. I see. I don't hate the Dodgers though. I like a lot of their players. I think they were smart in who they went out and got, and I don't blame them for being, just better at this than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them.
There you go. All right, Pete.
Yeah, Dodgers.
Who's winning between the Tigers and the Dodgers?
It'll be the Pirates.
The Pirates. There you go.
The lost
You
Detroit Pirates.
There you go. All right, the Dodgers. I'll give you 3 guesses who I'm picking to win between the Mets and the Red Sox.
Let's go, fuckers. Let's go.
That's come on, fuckers. Let's go.
Come on, fuckers.
Come on,
let's
fuckers.
go.
Let's go.
There you go. Come on, fuckers. Let's go.
Let's go. Come on, fuckers.
Let's
go.
go.
Exactly.
Let's go.
You gotta have the Mets in there somewhere, though. Come on, fuckers, let's go. Meet the Mets. Come on, fuckers, let's go. Meet the Mets.
Yeah, we'll work on that. It's not quite hitting. It's like a King Crimson song right now. Wait,
Yeah,
we gotta dial it in a little bit.
Staten Island aren't going to be able to dial that one.
we need a more palatable time signature, I think.
Mm-hmm. Let's do 7-8. I think that's a good one.
All right, so you actually gonna take the Mets.
I'm taking the Mets. Mets are winning it all this year.
All right, here we go.
All right.
All right, there you go.
That's good stuff.
With on the arms of 2 pitchers that they pick up at the trade deadline, but that's besides the point.
Sure, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That
So,
sounds good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm making a lot of bold predictions tonight, but there you go. That's where I'm
All
going.
right.
All right, we got 2 other predictions to do.
Uh-oh.
That we do every year. All right. And this is probably, I got to tell you, this is probably going to be the hardest that we've had in these predictions since we started doing these predictions 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The AL and NL Cy Youngs. All right. Harry, who's winning the American League Cy Young?
Max Fried is going to win the American League Cy Young.
All right. Something told me you might go there. All right. There we go. Pete?
What's his name?
That guy?
Scooble.
Scooble.
Who?
Scooble.
Oh, Scooble. Scooble.
Scooble.
Not Screwball.
I don't remember his first name.
John, who's going to win?
Who is going to win? The American League Cy Young? You know what? You might not be wrong with Max Fried. I have a feeling he's going to dial it up only because he has to.
Mm-hmm.
He has to fill Garrett Cole's shoes. And he's going to be thrown to the wolves too many times to not bounce up. Not bounce. Like he's either going to win the Cy Young or
Be
the
killed.
the Yankees are going to suck big time. That's it's really what it boils down to. So I'm going to go with Max Fried too. Fried, not Freeze. There we go. Harry, National League.
Skeens.
Really? All
I
right.
concur.
Paul Skeens. All right. And you know what? We all concur. He's too good not to. I would say that it would be Tyler McGill, but I really don't want to go there. I'm kidding. No, it's Paul Skeens will win it. Paul Skeens he's pitching so good. That's it. So
Or any of the Dodgers starting 7.
Yeah.
they don't see. Here's the thing: they don't need to because they're all so good.
I know.
So you got to look at it like that. When you're the ace on a team that you're the guy, that's and when you can shine. That's when you win the Cy Young.
Nah, Tom Glavine won a lot of Cy Youngs.
Yeah, that's true. But all right. That does it for our predictions. We have them. They're logged in.
No MVPs.
No, we don't do the MVP. We can do the MVP if you want.
Look at that.
Let's do the MVP if you want.
We know who Pete's picking in the NL for his MVP. His boyfriend.
Okay. Go ahead, Harry. Who's the AL?
AL is Bobby Witt.
Witt. Who's the NL?
Juan Soto.
All right. Pete, who's the AL?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Pick somebody. Chris Chambliss.
Chris Chambliss.
Dave
Winfield. W for Winfield.
George Brett is definitely going to win it this year.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So
Let's see.
I'm guessing Judge is the favorite to win it this year.
Probably. I don't know.
I mean, Judge and Otani are probably the favorites.
well, Otani's in the National.
Well, I know
Let's
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, Judge and Otani, I get you.
I'll say Gunnar Henderson.
Henderson.
There you go. They call him Henderson.
And the NL.
Gunnar Henderson. Your boyfriend.
It's hard to bet against him. Yeah, I'll take Shohei. Why not?
Really?
Yeah, he's
What
going
a
to throw
surprise.
some. He's not. I don't think he's going to start. At least not right away. So yeah.
No. All right. Jersey Johnny is picking for the American League Judge
Wow.
and for the National League Soto. There you go. So,
All right.
there you go. And that's
So
and
that's our show. You can find us
that's-
on Tweeter, Twatter, Twitcher, and Stitcher.
Twitter, and Stitcher.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
And OnlyFans.
And OnlyFans. Pete's OnlyFans. He syndicates it on his OnlyFans as well. All right. That brings us to our MLB question of the week to wrap up Major
very
League
good.
Baseball. It's our question of the week. Here we go. I need you to both tell me. We do this every year in the kickoff show. Harry, who is going to have the best record in the American League in April?
By the end of April?
In from now through April 30th, what team in the American League is going to have the best record?
Well, I think the Royals.
Really? All right, fair enough. Pete?
I'll say
Who will you say?
I'll say the Boston Red Sox.
Red Sox. There we go. And Jersey Johnny says that he agrees with Pete. I'm going to stop the third person because it's actually freaking me out. The Red Sox are going to win the win. They're going to have the best record.
They're going to win April.
They're going to win April. There you go. National League. Harry, who is going to have the best record by April 30th?
I think the Mets and Dodgers are both going to have a hot start. I think. I'd like to see who the Mets play in April, but I'll go out on a limb. I'll say the Mets are going to have the best record in the National League in April.
All right.
I concur.
Pete? Yeah, all three of us do. Mets are going to have the best April record.
Hot start.
Hot start. Then they do. They do a lot of knock on wood. They do, except for last year. Most of the time, they have a great April.
They might have the worst May and June, but they'll
last year they had a bad April and May, and then they went off.
We know.
They're the best team in baseball the rest of the year. We know. All right. Well, there you go. That'll do it. All right.
I got one other thing for baseball here.
Please have at it.
And we have talked a little bit about this because it's an ever-growing problem, and that if you want to watch all the games of your favorite team, you got to watch a bunch of different things, and maybe you got to subscribe to a couple of different services, and it costs extra money. And what happened to the old days when it was just the broadcast and then maybe some. So I want to throw this up for you.
There you go.
So
the Dodgers have the most nationally televised games at 21. The Mets have the second most at 20.
yeah.
Where are the put that back up? Where are the Yankees?
Let me see. Throw that back up again.
Surprised the Rockies have two nationally televised games. They must be playing the Dodgers.
Yeah, probably 2 games against the Dodgers. But you
Well,
see all the different
teams
you
on
got,
the bottom are obviously
you got
ones that
ESPN and you got the Roku channel and you got Apple TV and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's getting stupid. I know it's money. I know it's revenue. I know Rob Manfred is a what's that word I'm looking for? Jerk off. That's it. That's what I'm looking for.
That's one way to put
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right. It's just stupid now. I mean, 21 for the Dodgers, 21 nationally televised games where if you don't have any form of cable or pay TV, you're not watching those 21 games. You know?
Yeah.
And everybody says, "Oh, who doesn't have that?" Well, there's a lot of people that don't have it. That's
Well,
why.
what you're saying is that if you're in Los Angeles and those games are on national television, that they're not broadcast locally.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Right. Just like when the Mets are playing on Apple TV, the Yankees are playing on Apple TV or Prime or whatever the hell it is. It's not on local TV. Now, granted, the Mets and the Yankees are a little different too, because locally, most of the time they're on SNY, the Mets, and the Yankees are on Yes. So if you don't have those channels, you're not watching the Mets and the Yankees either.
Now, as a Yankee fan who's out of state, what's nice, or a Mets fan that's out of state, is I pay for the MLB package. And so I get to watch every game, except, you're right, except the nationally televised games, because they're not even on the MLB local, station. So
Right, exactly.
And
What that forces everybody to do, it forces everybody to buy. If they want to watch the game, if they want to watch that game, it forces them to buy that subscription service, whether it's
right,
whether it's Prime, Roku,
put up that list again if you don't mind. Let's look at those channels. So ESPN, Fox Sports 1, TBS, most people have access to those. Not all. It's the Apple TV, Roku, and who knows what else, YouTube and all this other bullshit that a lot of other people don't have access to.
Right. Well, Roku too. If you have a Roku TV,
I know, just Roku One.
It's Roku One. If you don't, you got to pay for it. So.
Well, you said Roku too. I said no. It's just Roku One.
Roku One. Yeah, if you have a Roku TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah,
I don't know. How many games are there in a season? If I miss one or two, I'll be okay.
I don't watch 160 games.
My blood pressure appreciates a night off.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
no matter what,
point.
folks. No matter what. Here's the thing. No matter what, you can always listen to it on the radio because it's always available on the radio.
And baseball, you can always listen to it on the radio.
Baseball, you can if you're out of state. I get it, but baseball is. Well, you can also go online. Like for instance, the Mets are on the Yankees games. I'm sorry, not the Mets. The Yankees games are broadcast on WFAN in New York. WFAN is on the Odyssey app. It's free, so you can download the Odyssey app and listen to the Yankees games on the Odyssey app.
And let me show you how excited I am about downloading yet another app.
Yeah, that's kind of the point here. You've got ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and TBS and Apple.
What I really want to do is I want to watch that Seattle Texas game on Roku while listening to it on the Odyssey app.
That would be nice.
Hopefully it's a Thursday day game at noon.
Well, Harry, you didn't even have to download the Odyssey app. You can go to if you're working.
I know.
You can go online. You can go to their website and listen to it that way. You don't have to download the app.
Excellent.
Let me just point out a couple things here. So, White Sox and the A's, wherever they're playing, 0, rightfully so, because they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Toronto, just 3.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Blue Jays would sort of be in the mix. Maybe for a wild card spot at some point, but I guess they figured maybe
they can't afford the tariffs.
Maybe that's what it is. But I thought that was just 3 games for our neighbors to the north. So
it's true.
But yeah, Dodgers
And the
Mets,
and the Los
Padres
Angeles
and Yankees and Phillies in Atlanta, and then
the Los
Chicago
Angeles.
next up on the list after those other, perennial, or at least for this year, teams that you might think are going to be favored to do something in the playoffs. And then Boston, not getting a lot of love from the nationally televised program here.
Well, got to remember too, the Los Angeles Angels only have 3 games that are nationally televised too.
Well,
Yeah,
look
too
at
many.
Fox. Look at Fox though. They've got 7 games by the Dodgers, 7 by the Cubs,
Yeah,
6 by Houston, and 6 by Kansas City.
and 6 by Boston.
And 6 by Boston. And 6 by the Yankees. And 6 by Phillies.
And then Fox Sports has got another
And 6
3
by
for
the
the
Mets.
Dodgers.
That's who I was looking at, Fox. Yeah,
Well, Fox, and then you have Fox Sports 1.
yeah, which I can never find.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's 777 now. I
It
know what
moves
it is.
around and hides.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
anyway,
All
that's what the television folks think
All
about
right.
what the
Yeah, it's
public
all
wants to
bullshit.
see. A lot of
all
Dodgers and Mets.
It's all bullshit. So, all right.
All right, we'll see you next year.
Yeah,
there you go.
Giants
where-
getting his change or something. Yeah.
No.
All right, what else are we doing?
We let's move to let's talk a little football.
Want to talk a little football?
Just a little bit free agency. I just have one
Hey.
thing I want to bring up.
Hang
You
on,
wanna
let me, I made us a special intro just for you Giant fans out there. There we go. I call that the Ballad of Tommy DeVito.
Ballad of Tommy DeVito. Is that what it is?
Still
You have to
signed.
send-
He's
you
the
have to send
happiest
that to
guy.
me.
Yeah.
You have to send that to me because I'll need it on Saturday night.
He's the happiest guy in Giant Land right now, watching Winston and then Russell come to town.
There you
He's
go.
going to be cut. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think he is.
All right, so here's we were talking about this briefly before the show, and we've been talking about it privately, obviously, since everything's been going down. But I just wanted to bring up the Giants signing Russell Wilson after this past weekend, signing Jameis Winston. Look, as far as I was concerned, when they signed Jameis Winston, the amount of money they signed Jameis Winston for, that was backup quarterback money. That was not starting quarterback money. That was backup quarterback money. Now, that being said, I really, really, really thought they were just going to hold out and wait for Aaron Rodgers. A little part of me thought, okay, well, maybe good. They did meet with Russell Wilson. Now, I didn't think. I mean, Joe Flacco was out. Joe Flacco couldn't be any different than Jameis Winston signing, right?
Well, they wanted Rodgers, but Rodgers told him doesn't want the Giants.
No, but that's what I believe, that they were going to hold out. If they didn't get him, they didn't get him. They had Jameis Winston, and they could draft a quarterback, whatever they're going to do, right? So, just got a comment from Brian Bogue. NFL exclamation points. Hey, Brian, cheers.
Oh, it's about Brian up there. Loves the NFL, and of course, we never skip it, man.
We never skip it, Brian. Never. So, in any event, I believe that's what they were going to do. Now, I was thrown a little bit, but not completely when they signed Wilson, because I knew damn well they were going to get somebody else. They signing Jameis Winston was not the end all be all before they went to the draft. They were getting another. That was a backup plan. That's all that was. But signing Russell Wilson now, it puts them in a precarious position. Now, do they draft? I believe that here's my thought. I believe, and you can tell me from you agree with me, you don't, whatever. I believe that if either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders is there at 3, they're going to take them. All right, that's what's going to happen. If either of them are there, it can be wrong, but I believe that if either of those 2 quarterbacks are there at 3, at their pick, they're going to take whoever it is.
Well, Cam Ward is not going to be there.
He's not. Neither of them are going to be there. I believe that Cam Ward's going to go first to Tennessee. Shedeur Sanders is going to go to Cleveland, and the Giants are going to be left without one of those 2 at the 3rd pick. That's what I think is going to happen. And the Giants are either going to take Travis Hunter or they're going to take Abdul Carter. They're going to take one of those 2. All right. I don't know which. I'm 50-50 on both. I'm back and forth. I lean one way, I lean the other. But I do believe that if either Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is there at 3, they're going to take them at 3.
Cleveland just signed a starting quarterback.
Yeah, Cleveland already has the starting quarterback too. So
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but that's Cleveland. We're talking about Cleveland, okay?
They're not taking Sanders.
We'll see. I'm telling you, I believe that's what's going to happen. If it doesn't, again, like I said, if Cam Ward goes first and Cleveland takes somebody else, and Shedeur Sanders is sitting there at 3, the Giants are taking them. The
All right,
Giants
so
taking them.
is that their best move in that scenario?
I don't think it is, honestly, but
yeah, what do you want to happen? Would you rather Sanders is there, or would you rather they're both QBs are gone and then they don't have to reach for what's his name?
I want Shedeur Sanders. Period. End of discussion. Go fucking get him.
all right.
That's it.
I would
Done.
like one of those 2 quarterbacks.
I'm not big on Ward. Go get, and I hope Ward does go first.
So you would rather that Shedeur Sanders was there?
Absolutely.
All right.
Having said that, having Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson is like having 2 fucking nut jobs trying to teach a young quarterback and mentor him. It's the worst possible situation for them.
Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are not going to teach and mentor the quarterback. They're going to be there to help Brian Dable teach and mentor the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's
Brian Dable mentored Daniel Jones into a nightmare.
Well, Brian Dable mentored and taught
mentored him into a job in Minnesota.
Josh Allen into a pretty good.
How has Brian Dable done without Josh Allen?
That's irrelevant. What does that even mean?
So here's my problem with the Giants, and I'll keep it brief.
That doesn't mean that he can mold any friggin' person that has an arm into a good quarterback.
No.
He's got to have talent to work with.
Knowing this Giants front office, you're probably right. They're probably going to pass on a quarterback and take somebody who will be a bust. And I think Shane and Dable will be gone after this year.
I do believe with. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If the Giants ownership is all in on Shedeur Sanders, then they have to give Dable another year of being able to, get through this season and build for the next. If the Giants think they're going to go from 3 wins to the playoffs this year, they are fucking kidding themselves. So who cares how many games you win? Go get your franchise quarterback, because 2 years of Russell Wilson puts you in the same position of utter fucking nonsense.
That's not the case. And Russell Wilson only signed for 1 year. But listen to me.
Oh, he signed for 2.
No, Jameis Winston signed for 2. Russell Wilson signed for 1.
That was 1 year for $20-something million.
Yeah. No, it's $10.5 million with incentives up to $21 million.
Yeah.
He signed for 1 year, $10.5 million with incentives.
So what do they think? There's better quarterbacks next year in the draft?
No. This is what I think is happening, and that could be wrong, but this is what I think is happening. I think that if Shedeur Sanders is there, they are not going to pass him up, because they obviously, ate a pardon my French, ate a bag of dicks when they didn't draft Bo Nix last year, or for that matter, Michael Penix. And they didn't take one of those quarterbacks when they were available, but they did get Malik Neighbors, who was a great talent, right? So, but either way,
3 more years. Yes.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it again. I think whether it's right or wrong, I think if one of those 2 quarterbacks is there at 3, they're going to be forced. Their hands are going to be forced to take them, because they're going to be destroyed in the media if they don't. All right. Now, that being said, if both quarterbacks are gone, I do believe that they're probably most likely going to take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, because they'll both obviously be available at that point.
Travis Hunter would make a lot of sense.
But here's my point. I don't believe that 100% believe that that'll happen. What I think possibly might happen is they might trade that 3rd pick and trade back into the first round a little bit and stockpile a bunch of picks for next year, this year and next year. This year for them, but next year specifically, and the year after, if that's a fact, that they can use no matter what happens this season, no matter where they wind up placing this year and where they draft next year, that they can use to pick, whether it is a new GM or not, they can use to trade up next year and pick Arch Manning. I believe that's where
Giants love the Manning family. Look, the comments in the about Shedeur Sanders being a showboat. You got 2 bigger showboats in Wilson and Winston. Okay, I watch this guy play every week, 40 minutes from where I live. This guy's the best quarterback in the draft, and he's ready to go. And you know what? I like the fact that he's confident in himself, and I like the fact that he can handle the pressure of New York. Waiting on Arch fucking Manning is the dumbest thing I could possibly think of.
Let's put that comment back up, Pete. Brian Boak said, I don't want Showboat's I don't want a Showboat's kid as a quarterback. We don't need a prima donna. We don't do good with them. I agree. We don't.
You got two of them right now. You got two of them. You just signed two of them.
There you go. I don't know if the prima
By the way,
or
he's a prima Dion.
He's a prima Dion. Right there you go. Pete, was that you on Restream?
Yeah, that's me.
Him?
Yeah.
Okay, unless he's as good or close to it as dad. That's his daddy, right?
You love him if he's great.
Yeah, but yeah. Well,
yes, his dad was a DB. It's very different.
It's a DB, exactly. But
yes, I know. But I'm saying Dion was a great
level-wise.
He was a great player. So
I don't need him to be as good as Dion was as a cornerback, as a quarterback. What I need him to be is better than any of the assholes the Giants have had under center. Okay, for the last 10 years.
But they're set up now to draft a quarterback.
They are.
Wait, are you
because you've got Wilson.
You're including Eli?
Well, no, whatever, John.
You've got Wilson for a year.
Eli had 3 good years and a lot of shit years. Okay, the Mannings are not we don't need Arch Manning. Okay, we need to give up on the Manning, and somehow some magical offspring of Eli Manning is going to come save the Giants. We need to deal with now.
It's not even an offspring of Eli. It's an offspring of Cooper.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is I'm sick of this perpetual bullshit that the Giants have themselves in. If you look at the entire quarterback camp in all of New York with the Giants and the Jets, it's we're overpaying mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants could have had Bo Nix. Gee, somebody said that Bo Nix was going to come to the NFL and win games right away, even though all the fucking experts said he's a second-round pick. Well, Sean Payton agreed with me, and guess what? Bo Nix took the Broncos to the playoffs.
There you go. And did you? Let me ask you a question. This is very important. I don't think I asked you this last April. Did you meet up with Sean Payton before the draft and tell him your thoughts?
He asked me, yes.
He did. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I also told him to get rid of the visor. It's Denver. The visors don't work here.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So if Sanders isn't there, do they trade down and try and stockpile some picks, or
I don't know.
If John's right and Ward and Sanders go 1-2, then I think you got to take Travis Hunter 3. I realize that the Giants have a pretty good defensive front line, and I realize Carter's a good player, but
Carter's probably the best player. Actually,
I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go 2. I think Ward's going 1 and Carter's going 2.
All right. No.
We don't know, and we will see. But let me tell you something. If I have. This signing of Russell Wilson just tells me that this Giants front office is confused. They're confused.
You know what it tells me?
I don't think it tells me they're confused.
It's preservation tactics, right? It's their jobs on the line. What I think it tells me, it says no. Listen to me. Hear me out. What I think it says is this. It says that they now have Russell Wilson. They also have Jameis Winston. I'm not even talking about Tommy DeVito, but they have those 2 guys. And whether they're able to pick a Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders in the draft or not, they'll have 2 or 3 quarterbacks that if one is sucking wind, they can put the other one in. And Brian Daboll can pull no punches, and he can get people. What they look, they don't need to go to the playoffs, and they're not going to go to the playoffs. But they need to win more than 3 fucking games.
They'll win 5.
No. They're pushing to win 7 or 8.
It's going to be hard.
In the middle of the pack.
It's going to be hard for them to win 5 if Tom Brady comes out of the retirement and starts for them. It just doesn't. Their schedule does not bode well.
Their schedule never bodes well because of the division they're in and the conference they're in and everything else.
A brutal schedule this coming year.
They do. So if they can somehow, here's my thing: if they can, no matter who's under center, if they can somehow pull off 7 or 8 wins and are heading in the right direction, whether they draft a quarterback or not, whether they're going after a quarterback next year or not, whether they have the people they need or not, if they could somehow make it to 7 or 8 wins, Brian Daboll's job is safe. Joe Schoen's job is probably safe too. All right. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about Mara. I almost said Wellington. I'm not talking about John Mara. Caring about not caring about this, but doing this. I'm talking about Brian Dable and Joe Shane doing this. Obviously, it's self-preservation. It's they're protecting. They're trying to protect their jobs. They don't want to be fired next year, so they're trying to pull out all the stops they can. I don't think it was the best thing in the world for them to sign Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston for that matter. I don't think it was a horrible thing either, because if they do get a quarterback in the draft, whether it's Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, one of those two quarterbacks, I should say, all right, both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are not going to be, they'll start a few games. They'll start 3, 4, 5, 6 games, maybe 7 or 8, depending on how they're playing. And then the quarterback's coming in. All right. And then it's building time around that new guy. That's what
we shall see.
That would be one of the dumbest things that they could do.
We shall see.
If they get one of those two guys, and it won't be Cam Ward. So if they get Sanders, or if they're going to take a chance on, is it Jackson Dart? Is that the
Jackson Dart? Jackson
If
Dart.
they're going to take a chance on Jackson Dart, they have set themselves up perfectly to do that. Whether you care for Russell Wilson or not, he is a veteran who can teach your young guy as he sits on the bench for a year and learns like quarterbacks should, especially if he's a project like Dart. And then Russell Wilson is at the end of his contract and he goes away, and then you
have some consistency too. Yeah, you have some consistency with Jameis Winston has the second year and he's under contract. But I agree with you. But here's the thing.
I mean, they've set themselves up for that.
What I said was depending on how they're playing. Now, if Russell Wilson and/or Jameis Winston, for that matter, obviously it's Russell Wilson, is playing well enough to be looking down the barrel at winning 7 or 8 games, they're not going to put in the rookie quarterback. All but right. if they have 2 wins after Game 7, they're gonna. You know what I mean?
Well, no, then you put in Winston.
All right. There's other teams in the NFL. Let's talk about them.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Before we get to that, and this can lead us into those other teams, I want to bring this up really quick. FanDuel did their way too early NFC power rankings. All right. I forgot to send it to you, Pete, so I'm just going to read it. We'll put this up on the page as well. We'll put both of those things up so far that we've talked about. Who do they have? I'm going to ask you for the first couple, and I'll just read them. Who do they have as the number 1 team in the NFC? The NFC?
The Lions.
No.
The Eagles.
The Eagles, yes. Who do they have as the number 2 team?
The Lions.
Nope.
The Redskins.
Yes, the Commanders, yes. Who do they have as the number 3 team, Harry?
The Lions.
The Lions, there we go.
It's not the Tigers.
We'll do the top 5 teams because 5 is gonna be interesting for you. Who do they have as the number 4 team?
God.
Is
the Vikings?
Is it surprising or is it?
This one's not as surprising. Number 5 is surprising. Well, don't pull it up.
Number 4 team in the NFC?
NFC. Power rankings for this year.
The Rams? I don't know.
You pulled it up. Yes, it's the Rams.
No, I didn't pull it up.
You didn't?
No.
It's the Rams. The number 5 team. Ready for this?
Cowboys.
No. Sorry, Dave, if you're watching. The number 5 team they have as the Chicago Bears.
Yeah. Well, who's this?
Oh, they're really
FanDuel.
counting on Caleb, huh?
FanDuel. This is FanDuel.
How are they? Yeah. Okay.
All right. The number 6 team, the Packers. 7, 49ers. 8, Buccaneers. These are all making somewhat sense.
Yeah.
9, Seahawks. 10, Vikings. I don't know about the Seahawks.
We get it.
We're not going to go through every
I'm
team,
getting
right?
somewhere. Yes, I am. There's only 16. Hang on. It's the NFC.
Well, it's only
11.
32 when you do the NFC. The
But
AFC.
I'm not doing the AFC. I'm only doing the NFC.
AFC. I'm only doing the top 11.
Just listen. I would have been done. 11 Cowboys, 12 Cardinals, 13 Falcons, 14 Panthers, 15 Saints. The Giants are the bottom team in the NFC according to FanDuel.
Of course they are. The Giants suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about
They
right.
won 3 games last year.
There you go. All right. And I had this, and this would have made more sense before last night's signing of Russell Wilson. I just want to read this to you. And then I'll put this meme up as well. Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers because of these reasons. Ready? Aaron Rodgers has thrown 113 career interceptions. Jameis Winston has only thrown 103 career interceptions. All right.
And close to the same number of attempts, I'm sure.
Probably. Aaron Rodgers has 10 playoff losses as a starter. Okay.
James Wilson has none.
Is undefeated in playoffs as a starter. Is undefeated in the playoffs as a starter.
Because he's never been.
I've never lost as a starter in the playoffs
Exactly.
either.
So are you. Aaron Rodgers hosted Jeopardy while in the NFL, so he's a huge nerd. Jameis Winston hosted The Deadliest Catch while he was at FSU. He's an American hero.
All right.
Hold on. It's funnier. Aaron Rodgers selfishly left the Packers to try and win another Super Bowl. Jameis Winston selflessly left the Bucs so they could win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, he didn't get pushed out.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers
they said, I'm sorry, they said, listen, Jameis, it's up to you. It's either you or Brady. You decide. You tell us what to do. You tell us what to do. We'll leave it up to you.
Exactly. And the last one, Aaron Rodgers asks shamans to give him ayahuasca to prepare his mind for the season. Jameis Winston asked friends to whip him with pool noodles to prepare his mind for every season. So there you go. I had to read that. That was pretty fun.
I think there's some good points there.
There you go. They make some good points. All right. Around the league, Pete, you have anything on the Jets? It's been very quiet from Jets camp.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I think I prefer it. You know, whatever.
This is very true.
Listen, I'm hopeful for improvement this year. I like Justin Fields. I'd like to see him play well. I think he's got some skills. The Jets have a horrible track record as far as developing any sort of talent for anybody, with rare exception.
That was kind of where I wanted the Giants to go. I wanted them to grab Justin Fields and work with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a skill set. See if Dable can develop him, but obviously they wanted bang for their buck right away. Otherwise, because the jobs are on the line. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I don't think he's the answer who's going to, lead them to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But right the ship, so to speak. As long as they're better and maybe it'll be drama free or much less drama than with Aaron Rodgers.
You could put Joe Namath in right now, and there'll be less drama than there was with Aaron Rodgers.
By the way, Joe Namath may be the most overrated quarterback of all time. Discuss.
There's no argument.
Harry, what's going on out in Denver with the Bronx?
We got Evan Ingram. We got a tight end.
There you go.
T. Higgins resigns with the Bengals. The Bengals going all in on offense. Not a lot on defense. We talk about the Giants. The Giants lost one of their best. They gained a safety. They lost an edge rusher going to the Eagles. That was hard to see.
But he's played like 5 games in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. But I don't know. I think it's still too early to see what's going on. I think that, the Rams are going to be interesting. Who knows what's going on there? It's like they're going to sign Devontae Adams, but let Cooper Kupp go. The Seahawks are a team that's just said, screw it. We're going to start over from scratch. And they're signing some, they're taking a chance on some big name people. Who knows what the Vikings are going to look like? The Eagles are going to be good. They lost a couple players, but nothing significant. It looks like the Chiefs are trying to bolster up their offensive line and fill some holes that were glaringly, there at the end of the season. And, I don't know. I think it's sort of, I don't think there's any team that's done something where it's like, all right, wow, they've really made leaps and bounds, through free agency. I think the 49ers are in trouble.
I do. I think the 49ers are going to be, I think the Cardinals may be better than the 49ers this year.
And I'll tell you what, I think you have to give the front office of the Commanders respect. I think they're building a good team there. And boy, they certainly know how to find talent. That's for sure.
I mean, here's the thing. Is there a connection between the Commanders and a baseball franchise?
Yeah.
The Dodgers, maybe?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani's going to play tight end for him next year.
I think he should, actually.
I think he's going to be a kicker.
Kicker, yeah.
I kicked him both.
Both. He's going to do both, tight end and kicker.
Exactly.
No, he'll be the punter, place kicker. Like
He's going to be the holder and the kicker.
Punter, place kicker, edge rusher.
Yeah. I don't know. It's too early yet, but hey, look, it's always at least it's not boring in Giants camp.
Actually, if you talk about both of his positions in baseball versus football, he would be the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Yeah, you're probably right. He'd probably be a quarterback.
He'd throw the ball to himself.
Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. It sounds like, it looks like, based on their recent dismissal of Fields and Wilson, it looks like the Steelers are getting ready to sign Aaron Rodgers.
They're gonna definitely.
Yeah,
I think it's the best fit for him.
Bring in?
I think it's the best fit for him. And I'll tell you what, I think the Steelers, does Rodgers win them 2 more games than they won last year? I think so. I think this is the best opportunity he could dream of in some ways. I think it's a good fit. I think there's enough talent and he'll get enough protection that he'll be able to put up a few points, and he'll have a defense that can, is the Steelers defense that can keep them in the game. Do I think it's going to be take them into the AFC Championship game? No, but I think it might get them over the hump. I think Rodgers, he'll be a good fit there for 1 year.
If they can protect him, he had pretty decent numbers with the Jets.
Yeah,
although they were a lousy team last year. I've said that before. Yeah. His numbers were pretty good.
And
so
maybe
give him a little bit more protection, give him a better defense, and maybe
a coach that can sort of, I don't want to say keep him in line, but at least let him know, hey, you're not the fucking coach.
Yeah, well, right. And look what the Jets went through coaching wise last year. It was a fucking circus. So you're not going to have that. Now we could find out, 10 months from now or whenever, Aaron Rodgers might be the guy that finally gets Mike Tomlin fired. That could also happen. Although I doubt it.
One bad year with the Steelers and is not going to get Mike Tomlin fired.
Well, no, because there are a lot of people who are saying it's not one bad year. It's losing in the playoffs again and again and again. I'm not a Steeler fan, so I don't necessarily think.
Yeah, he's the Milwaukee. They're the Milwaukee Brewers of football.
Yeah.
Right.
But they've had past success.
So let me say this way. So the word on the street is that Aaron Rodgers is going to be even more than we thought perfect fit in Pittsburgh because due to his TV show host, if you will, track record. Once he does get to Pittsburgh on the Steelers, he's going to reform a show from Pittsburgh, a long-time running show from Pittsburgh, and that would be this right there.
Ah, very nice.
Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
It's the new Mr. Rogers.
He's going to be
now, is he going to come in?
As long as Pat McAfee's not on, I don't care.
Yeah.
Is he going to come in with a football uniform on and take off his cleats and his shoulder pads, put the sweater and the loafers on?
No, instead of going to the land of make-believe, he's going to go into a dark cave.
It's a dark cave. Have a little ayahuasca.
Who was the mailman?
The mailman will be Devontae Adams.
He's going to show up with a speedy delivery of some peyote for him.
It's not Devontae Adams is on the Rams. It's going to
doesn't matter. On the show, he'll be on the show.
Yeah. The speedy delivery of ayahuasca for you. Here
speedy delivery. What do you got? A little something for you. I would probably watch a couple episodes of that.
Mr. McFeely, is that what it was? The mailman?
McFeely, yeah, that might be right. Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about baseball and football, and meanwhile, the rest of the country is watching college basketball.
Yes, let's. Why don't we talk about that? Do we have an Are They For Real for anything other than football or?
I do have a nice Are They For Real, as a matter of fact.
Is it? Should we do it before we talk about?
Let's do
March
it.
Madness?
Let's do it before, because it has to do with March Madness, and I don't want to do the old.
Before we get to it, though, I actually do. I forgot. I have one NFL, just a quickie for you, and I want this. In light of the Giants' 35 new quarterbacks, all right, I have a question for you. Who are your top 3 backup quarterbacks of all time? Who are your top 3 backup quarterbacks of all time? It's not a trivia question. It's just your opinion. Who are your top 3 backup quarterbacks of all time? Harry, who are yours first?
Oh, on the Giants or just in general?
No, in general. Any team. Doesn't matter.
Well, let's give me a second to think about it. I mean, I think you got to go with Steve Young.
Let's not go with Steve Young, because when he took over, he was the starting quarterback. We're talking somebody that was a career backup quarterback.
Nick Foles.
Foles, right?
Earl Morrell. Didn't he win with the Colts?
Dolphins?
The Dolphins, I mean, yeah.
He won with the Colts and won with the Dolphins.
Yeah, Earl Morrell, it's got to be.
No, he won with the Colts and he won with the Dolphins.
Yeah. I think Nick Foles, you got to put him up there. And I'm going to be a little bit of a homer here and go with Jeff Hostetler.
All right. I'm going to skip Pete for a second, because I have to say this. Harry, you just took my exact 3.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. I had Jeff Hostetler, Nick Foles, and Earl Morrell. By the way, you were a homer with Earl Morrell too, because before Earl Morrell was the quarterback for the Colts or the Dolphins, he was the Giants quarterback.
He also started on the Rutgers women's basketball team.
He was the Giants quarterback, and then he left the Giants when they got Grant Tarkenton.
To an NIT championship too.
When they got Grant Tarkenton in the late '60s, Earl Morrell went to the Colts.
Yes, here we go. We're going down the rabbit hole.
No,
we
we're
brought
not.
him up, so there you go. No, we're not.
That's enough.
Pete, yours.
All right. These are kind of, I don't know how, these are not all guys that were very successful, but they were just guys that I like to see. And one was very successful. One is Foles for me. Why not? That was a great moment.
Sure.
The other is Don Strock. Gotta love Don Strock.
Great name. Maybe the ultimate
just a
football player name, right?
Yeah, a rifle for an arm, get in there and throw the ball, Don. And I'm gonna go number 3 is
Bubby Brister.
No.
He was a starter.
Well, he was a backup too.
He was a backup first, but you know what I'm gonna go with?
Every starting quarterback was a backup first, except before 2010. Before 2010, every starting quarterback was a backup first.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm gonna go with, I think he was like the 3rd string emergency. Jensen, I think his name was.
Okay.
Jim Jensen. I don't remember his first name. I think he was also with the Dolphins or with the Patriots, and he was like the backup punter and the emergency quarterback and a special teams guy. And when like everybody on your team at a certain position got hurt, they were playing this guy Jensen, Jim Jensen, maybe. Yeah.
Jim Jensen.
You know what's kind of funny is that although he won 2 Super Bowls, Joe Flacco might, at least for younger fans, he might be known as the perennial backup that didn't even play the first 14 weeks of the season.
Right.
You know, I just picture him coming in 3 years from now and playing for the Seahawks. You know, not even knowing where Seattle is. Yeah.
He only won 1 Super Bowl. But
Did he go to 2? No, he only won 1. Who did the Ravens win their first Super Bowl with?
Dilfer!
That's right.
Dilfer, yeah.
That's right. The original Joe Flacco, Trent Dilfer.
The original Joe Flacco, Trent Dilfer.
Which again, you know, I mean, come on. Yeah.
He was Flacco before Flacco was Flacco.
This is very true. He didn't even know it. Flacco didn't even know it.
All right. Good question.
Good question. There you go. All right, cool. And side note. Side note. All right. I just lost my side note. Damn it. Oh no, Harry. First of all, I was going to say, what? Nobody picked Jerry Goldstein? I mean, come on.
Jerry Goldstein was a record producer in LA, wasn't he?
Jerry Goldstein was Joe Pisarcik's backup at the Giants in the late 70s. But
No wonder we have no viewers.
I said that for a reason. Harry, who was the third string quarterback for the Giants behind Joe Flacco, behind Joe Pisarcik and Jerry Goldstein? And I say this only because you've been mentioned punter as well as backup quarterback.
Dave Jennings.
Dave Jennings. Yes, exactly. There you go. All right.
Fact that I know that, I should be shot. I have no life. I can remember that. I can't remember the password I came up with yesterday.
Well, maybe you should make it
Dave Jennings.
Dave Jennings. The password is Dave Jennings.
That's what you do.
Or Pisarcik, if you can remember how to spell it.
Spell it, right, exactly.
Yes, everybody make your passwords Pisarcik. No one knows how to spell it.
All right.
That's also my safe word is Pisarcik.
Mine's Naka, so it goes hand in hand.
It used to be Eruzione, but yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to get out when you can't breathe very well. Too many syllables.
It's 5 syllables.
Yeah.
Aruzi.
Yeah.
What? Bruise me? Okay.
Humor for people of a certain age.
There you go.
All right, let's move on.
What is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah. What is real?
All right, what is real? Got a couple of different sports to deal with here. We have talked about this before, and I think we probably made a prediction about it, but I don't remember what it was, and it doesn't matter. But we got 9 games left for the Washington Capitals, who appear to be the best team in the NHL.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe talk about the Jets, but
Winnipeg beat them. Winnipeg beat them last night.
Well, you can't win every game. But Ovechkin, 9 games, he needs 6 goals to pass Gretzky.
He'll get them. They'll feed him the puck to get him. They will feed him the puck. He's that close. He needs 6 goals in 9 games. They will feed him the puck to get them. It's going to happen.
All right. Harry?
I think it'd be great if he comes up 1 short this season.
Doesn't it seem like that's the destiny? I feel the same way. But the thing is,
I kind of hate him. So yeah.
The thing is, they're so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Certainly in the East, right? They've got
for the best record, they're only 1 point ahead of Winnipeg. So.
Right, but I'm saying, as far as the Eastern Conference goes,
and look, I think
nobody else.
I think this has kind of fueled them. I think they're playing better because of this.
Yeah. I agree. And side note, by the way, best team in hockey doesn't necessarily win you the cup. Just ask the Rangers last year.
Just ask anybody, right? In the last 10 years.
But I think you're right. I think they're going to feed him, and he's going to get it. So
yeah, definitely.
All right.
I hope he gets it this year. It'd be good for the sport.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would too. Okay. Also, we are going to talk about the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Maybe a little bit about the women as well. It was
a cold day in December.
The first round was pretty rough on the lower seeds. There were a couple moves on, but not too many.
Are we talking about hockey still, or what are we talking about?
No, talking about the basketball.
What's the title list?
Talking about March Madness.
Okay.
So second round, a little bit better for the underdogs, but not a lot. But we've got what I like to call the NCAA 6s or worse. That is to say, as we head to the Sweet 16, we've got 2 6s and a 10 left in the draw, and I want to know your ranking.
I had that one Saturday night in college.
2 6s and a 10? I think the 10 was in a dream.
Yeah,
so
the 10 was 5 2s.
Yeah. Well, still 2 6s and 5 2s in one night. That's impressive.
You're gonna. Damn it! I'm telling you.
That'll
the
get you a
ayahuasca.
job shoveling coal in the bowels of the Titanic with that kind of stamina. All right, so rank them 1, 2, 3. Who is for real? Number 6, Ole Miss, who's taking on number 2, Michigan State. Number 6, BYU, who's taking on number 2, Alabama. Or number 10, Arkansas, who's taking on number 3, Texas Tech.
Kansas, Ole Miss, BYU.
So you think Arkansas has the best, is the most for real to beat Texas Tech, and then Ole Miss, and then BYU.
Calipari beat my Johnnies that I had that screwed up my complete bracket. So
the Johnnies the Johnnies can't hit the side of a barn with the fucking battleship. That's the problem with the Johnnies, which is why Arkansas won, because they just can't shoot. I think you're right though. I think Arkansas is playing their best basketball of the year. I will say this, Ole Miss beating North Carolina, people were kind of down on North Carolina. They kind of won handily in the play-in game. I'll put Ole Miss last, though. I do think it's Arkansas and then BYU and then Ole Miss.
Yeah. So we agree on Arkansas. We flip-flopped BYU and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
All
right. I'll say boy, BYU was magic at the end of the season. I'll say BYU, Arkansas, Ole Miss.
There you go.
All right.
And we have a little message here from Mr. Scardino.
I'm with Harry. Hope not. Ole Miss, Arkansas, BYU.
I mean, that BYU Alabama game is going to be a good one.
Yeah,
I mean that's going to be a good game.
So
that's one to watch.
Dave agrees with me. The Ole Miss is better than BYU. I is playing better than BYU. I think it's Arkansas, Ole Miss, BYU. I think it's that order. I do.
I'm going to tell you right now, BYU is going to give Alabama a game. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna absolutely. I mean, Look, all three of these teams are winning all three of those games, right? So,
right. But BYU beat Wisconsin.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Wisconsin is perennially a team that comes in as a high seed that usually doesn't make it past the Sweet 16. So, I mean, talk about the opposites of in America. BYU versus Alabama is. Maybe the most interesting cultural matchup in North America this week.
Yeah, that is. Those are polar opposites.
Sure.
All right, so quick review of our NCAA Cinderellas that we picked during our last show. We knew that Drake was going, so of course we all picked them. And between the three of us, we picked San Diego State, who did not go, and we picked VCU, who did, and Yale, who did. And unfortunately, none of them did particularly well during the tournament. Drake did beat Missouri, but then lost to Texas Tech. VCU lost to BYU. UC San Diego, who we did not pick as a Cinderella, they did get in, and they lost to Michigan, and then Yale lost to Texas A&M. So we did pretty good, other than San Diego State, at picking the teams that were in fact getting in. But other than Drake, who was already in at that time, nobody went very far. So
not so much.
I think we had Ovechkin, and we had our number 6 or over 6.
You've got Ovechkin beating Purdue in the Sweet 16.
I've got Ovechkin beating Ole Miss in the Elite Eight.
Ovechkin
in the playing game.
Beating Duke like a drum.
Yeah. All right.
So now we want to go to what? Basketball?
Let's talk about March Madness a little bit. We don't have to talk about me. Yeah, we'll do on the next show. We'll do hockey and basketball because we'll be looking at the playoffs at that point. So
I think we should be looking at the end of the show soon.
I agree. I have one question for you regarding March Madness. We did just talk about most of it right there. The two of you, did either of you do brackets?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. Because I did. Did either of you have McNeese
No.
beating Clemson?
Nobody
No.
had McNeese.
No. Ah, there we go.
I'll show you my bracket if you
Good
show
for
me
you.
yours. I have McNeese. I don't know why. It just I looked at it. I'm like, McNeese is beating Clemson. So there you go. I do have to toot my horn on that one. Not that it matters anyway, because my bracket got fucked anyway with St. John's, but I had them going further.
Thanks, Johnny's.
And they did not. Thanks. Thanks, Calipari. You couldn't leave your Paisan Patino alone. You had to beat him.
He's not his paisan.
Apparently not.
Let me tell you my one takeaway from the tournament so far.
Go ahead.
Colorado State got ripped off in that Maryland game.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You know, it's funny. I agree. I agreed and agreed and agreed. And then I heard an analyst who is really familiar with the rules talking about it. And it's by their explanation, it was kind of like the Euro step. And in the college game, they don't call it the gather as they do in the pros, where you're.
It took like 7.
Here, just hear me out.
Go ahead.
They call it cupping, which is when you stop. Yeah,
Is that like soaking?
I believe that is the official terminology.
I do like a good cupping. Let's be honest.
But that's sort of the college equivalent of when they stop dribbling. And then it's two. And then it's two
I can't
steps.
stop dribbling once I get cupped.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It seems strange to me that, like, how are you supposed to stop?
I mean,
But
you
it's,
combine a cupping and a dribble. You know,
But the way it was explained, it
returns
was
to a drool. You got yourself a good night.
it was basically the college games version of the Euro step.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that was accurate. If that
It was the
somebody who
Euro
was-
Dance Club. Yeah.
But yeah, go back and look at it. It's exactly like the Euro step. There's the
He
gathering.
took 75 steps.
Here's the
before
thing,
he
Two
though.
steps after the ball was picked up.
Here's the thing: Colorado State should never have let them back in that game.
Yeah.
It was they just sort of they had that game won. It's too bad. It was kind of a nice story, but anyway.
But anyway,
There you go.
that was what I saw. And again, I'm assuming this person actually knows what they're talking about because they brought him on TV for that specific purpose. But you know, but that was it. But I still don't like the Euro step, and I still didn't like the fact that it looked so much like a travel, and essentially to me was a travel. So in essence, I do agree with you on both your points. Colorado did get robbed, and but it never should have come to that.
LeBron would be proud.
Yeah, it never
Yeah,
should.
exactly.
Never should.
Yeah. Well, because you can take, what is it, 8 steps in the NBA?
No, I think I once saw him go end to end without once dribbling.
Oh yeah, the NBA is terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Right. So,
All right,
all right.
what are we
Cool.
we doing? Final four?
Yeah. Did we do that? And we could do Final Four. Let's do Final Four.
Just pick Final Four.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, because it's going to be done before our next show. So
All right.
let me pull up my bracket here, which is totally screwed anyway. Okay.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take Auburn
Mm-hmm.
because they're really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I hate going chalk, I don't have as much confidence in Arkansas getting past Texas Tech as you guys do, and they're certainly not going to get past Florida or Maryland. Maryland's coming off a big high, but Florida's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think Georgetown's got a real chance.
I'll take Florida. And I'll take, you know what? I'll take Purdue from the Midwest just for the hell
Oh
of it.
God, Purdue's a tough call.
And then I'll take BYU because I will not take Duke.
All right.
I'll make it easy. I got all the number ones making the Final Four.
You do. You do.
I do.
You do. I have two number ones making the Final Four. I have two not number ones making the Final Four. So I got Auburn playing Arkansas. I do.
You got a number 12 making it to the Final Four, huh? 10, sorry.
And I have Duke playing Purdue.
Well, Duke can't play Purdue. Duke
plays Purdue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Purdue's in a different bracket than Duke.
oh, okay. So you have Duke. Oh, I see. You got Duke playing Purdue. I got you.
Duke
I
playing
got you.
Purdue and Auburn playing
I got you.
Arkansas. That's my Final Four. So,
All right.
All right, there you go. We got to pick winners.
we can if you want. Go ahead, Pete.
I'll take Detroit. You know what? I'll take Florida.
Really?
To win it all?
Yeah.
We're not picking who are they playing in the finals?
Yeah. Who's the finals and who's the winner?
Okay.
You got Auburn. You got Auburn in Florida, Pete. Right?
I got Auburn and Florida. I got BYU and Purdue. I think it's going to be Florida and Purdue.
Okay.
Florida wins.
All right. You writing this down?
No, are you?
No.
Who
Nah,
cares?
We'll just go back and listen. We'll go back to the show and listen.
We go back and listen.
I'll make a spreadsheet.
There you go.
All right,
Harry.
I got Duke and I got Houston beating Duke and Auburn beating Florida. And Florida beating Auburn, and I've got Florida winning it all.
All right. I've got Arkansas beating Auburn, and I've got Duke beating Purdue, and I've got Duke winning it all.
I hope you're right.
Fucking Duke. I hate them so much.
Of course you do.
Did I say that earlier?
I did.
You just can't like any team that's had success since 1976.
No.
You just
No.
it's not like you like the underdog. You like teams that have absolutely no shot in hell.
No, my formidable years were was as a fan of the Big East.
Mhm.
So all those other teams were, you hated them.
Mm.
Scardino says Duke.
Duke takes it all week. Dave, you agree? You and I agree. There you go.
Yeah, it's
I'd
not
say,
going to be
Dave,
Georgetown.
You're banned
I mean,
from
it's a
the
big
show.
stretch for us. I know, right? So
You're
I hope
banned
it's
from the
Duke.
show
Don't get me wrong.
till after the tournament ends, Scardino.
Uh,
Of course, there won't be another show before then.
there
So.
won't be another show until then. So.
Okay, well, come on, don't ruin it.
you never know.
We're banned from the show until the tournament ends.
I might have an interim show, just
Just for the hell of it.
just listing 39 options the Yankees should have in left field other than Jason Dominguez.
Pete
All right.
and I are going to do a Mets Corner show on Friday night. So if you want to join, you can.
No. Not unless Lee Mazzilli's on.
Of course, he's going to be on set. All
Um,
right. All right.
Do we want to do a over/under?
I'm good with that. Whatever you want to do.
I got a little bit of over/under and a quick review. It'll be quick.
Let's do one over under, and then we'll
And a book. What did you say? An over under and a book review?
A book review. Thanks.
No. One actual over/under and then a quick review from our previous shows over/under.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna review the
That'd be
Velveteen
great.
Rabbit.
Pete's book review.
Pete's book review. 50 Shades of Grey this week.
Yeah.
Stick around after the end of the show. I'll be back on.
Yeah.
Well, I've got no chance of losing this time.
Alrighty, over under. I don't know. This is a little going back a little bit talking about baseball. I don't know if you guys read, but Joey Gallo love him or like him.
But Joey Gallo or Joey Callow?
Joey Gallo with a G.
Gallo. All right.
He's gonna become a pitcher.
He's gonna become a pitcher. Yeah.
He might be the sixth starter on the Mets.
Listen, he might be the reason the Reds are. Didn't you pick the Reds as a wild card?
That's right.
He might be. So
I picked them to win. Yeah.
He did. He picked them to win the AL.
Win the AL Central. That could be.
I'm telling you, I like that team. They got a good manager now.
All right, so we're gonna assume that Joey Gallo gets to the majors this season at some point.
He's not.
This for the fun of it.
All right.
So assuming Joey Gallo gets to the majors at some point, and not like the last week of the season.
There's a better chance of Alexander Ovechkin pitching for the Reds.
He comes up in the last week of September.
But this is not supposed to be
I know, this is fun. I know.
It's supposed to be. So let's say by the All-Star break. So the over-under on how long it takes Joey Gallo to blow out his arm is 31 and a half days.
31 and a half days.
No, I'm going to go over because he's not going to make it past one inning. Yeah.
He's going to make it up. He's going to pitch one inning.
Yeah.
He's going to give up 8 runs on 6 hits.
In 1 month, you'll see him twice. So he'll be for 1.2 innings pitched, 12 earned runs.
6 walks.
Yeah, exactly.
3 hits, batsman.
5 hit by pitch. Yeah,
hits the mascot once. He's nuclear.
That's right.
I gotta go. Like I know I normally take opposite of Harry, but I gotta go over on that too.
Yeah, I think we're all going under. Yeah.
Over under.
I don't. No, I'm going under.
You're going under?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. So there you go.
There we go. Joey Gallo will
Joey Gallo blowing out his arm. 31 and a half games. I'm going over. 31 and a half days. I'm going over. Harry's going over. Pete's going under.
All right. There we go.
All right. All right.
Now,
there you go. Cool.
Now for the quick review. We did the NBA playoffs. I don't want to go through everything. But something interesting has happened. Now, this is going into tonight's action. We all took the Cavs and the Thunder to be the number 1 seed. But in the East, JJ is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for 9 with his over-unders. Got the Knicks, the Pacers, the Celtics, the Magic, and the Hawks, all respectively either under 4.5 or under 8.5, and the other team's over. So he is dead on for the Eastern Conference so far. Harry and I have a mix of wrong picks. Again, so far, we've still got 10 games left. Between the Bucks and the Pacers and the Pistons and the Magic and the Bulls. So John's on a roll. Now, out in the West, yours truly is 9 for 9 as far as the over-under. And you guys are having a few misses at this point with the Lakers, Rockets, and the Grizzlies. But the 8.5 over-under were all dead on there. So you guys have a couple things wrong with your over-under 4.5. But Johnny's, like I said, 9-0 in the East, and I'm 9-0 in the West so far. So we do have a little bit more time and see how it all shakes out.
Another couple weeks, and we'll see what it is.
Yeah, quick update on that. So.
There you go.
That is over-under.
And that's over-under. All right, beautiful.
And there we have it.
Now we can talk about hockey on the next show.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think I'm good.
We already talked about it.
We did. We talked about Alex Ovechkin. So that was hockey.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah, no,
right.
we've got the wild
Let's
card
go
over
Avs
stuff, but
the Avalanche are on a little bit of a heater right now. 8-1-1 in their last 10. Let's go.
Things will be shaken out, and they'll be looking at the playoffs by then. So we'll have a little bit of a hockey report. We'll dabble in. Then the next show we do, that we got draft stuff to talk about too. So we got a big show in the next show.
Yeah.
So we got playoffs in basketball and hockey, and we got the draft and the first few weeks of baseball. So
Let me ask you guys two quick questions.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying all of these teams are going to make the NBA Finals, but just curious as to your thoughts. What is a better NBA Finals, i.e., what you would rather see, or what you think the NBA would rather see?
Knicks in Oklahoma.
No, I'm going to give you options.
Realistic options.
Oh, damn it.
Boston versus the Lakers,
Right.
or the Lakers going against the Cavaliers, LeBron going back home.
That would probably be the one that would be picked. It would be a whole LeBron story.
Do you think the NBA would like to see that?
Of those two,
I think the NBA would rather see Boston and the Lakers because of the history of it, and also just because it'll get higher ratings. Because Boston, even though they're a smaller city than Cleveland, they have much more of a national ratings base than
the whole East
Cleveland.
Coast will root for Boston, basically.
I don't disagree with that 100%. I would rather see that myself, but I think that they'll placate LeBron, and they want to build that whole story about the Lakers, and they would want to build that whole story about the Lakers and Cleveland with LeBron.
Of course, the monkey in the wrench is the Lakers themselves because they're not good.
Right. I don't think the Lakers are making that.
They're not making the finals anyway.
Hold on. Lakers with LeBron and Luka have been maybe the hottest team in the NBA the last month.
Well,
they're beating the Pacers right now.
Till he got hurt, they were lousy, and he's been back for a couple games. They need to get back into rhythm, but
they're going to be just fine.
I don't know. I don't know if they have enough time to get back to just fine. At least not to get to the finals fine.
Right.
I think they do.
Maybe.
Well,
all right. Now let's talk about Oklahoma City. Going to win the West, we think. Again, these are making assumptions about who goes to the final. What is a better final? Same question. Oklahoma City versus Boston, or Oklahoma City versus Cleveland?
Doesn't matter.
Boston. That's either or at that point.
Same reason. Yeah.
I say Boston because then they're looking at it, a repeat kind of thing against a team that's been dominant the whole season. So
I'll tell you what, though, OKC Cleveland finals would give people a chance who have not seen either of those teams much on national television to see two really, really good teams play each other.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because you're right. They're not. I mean, these are not teams that go to the NBA finals very often. Certainly not like Boston. So you might.
Well, OKC's hasn't. They've never been to the NBA finals, have they?
Yeah. So
did they make it once with Russ and?
No, I think they just went to the
Western Conference Finals.
Western Conference Finals.
But my point
right.
is, Oklahoma City, Cleveland looked at as like the stepbrothers, right? They don't win stuff very much, if at all.
Cleveland, obviously had their history with LeBron and won one recently. So I'm not sure that's necessarily the case for years before that. Yes.
Yeah, but they're not in the same tier as Boston in terms of perennial winners. So Boston is the old guard winners.
Right.
Oklahoma City, the neophytes, if you will, and Cleveland still also looked at more of an also ran than anything else.
Perennial underdog, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what the NBA would like. Like two teams that almost never win it going against each other, or the young dogs looking to take out the old guard in Boston.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what the NBA does want, and it has nothing to do with the NBA finals. What they want, and I think they will probably make this happen, is a Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers Western Conference final.
Yeah, that's probably in the works, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I agree, Dave. I would love to. Weren't they talking about a team back in Seattle last year or something like that?
They got the crack. They got the Kraken.
Is he referring to a team back in Seattle, or is he referring to OKC?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's being smart by saying "Go Supersonics." Yeah. The difference now is that the Supersonics have somebody who can hit a shot. So,
but they don't have the X-Men.
That's true.
Oh, Xavier, you're going Xavier McDaniel, huh? Not Gary Payton and Sean Kemp.
Oh, he said Seattle. Yeah, put it back up. He said Seattle. There you
Oh, did he?
go. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. All right, Dave. You're back in the good graces. You are unbanned until the next show. All right. That's all I got. We got anything else?
I think we're good.
All right. You want to read the outro there?
I will do it, sir. All right. Well, we'll wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everyone for watching. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch every other Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as everywhere that you find your audio podcasts. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Watch the March Madness continue. The continuing madness in March. Happy April next week, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody. How about Juju going down? Man,
Yeah.
that is... I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a basketball player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Oh, well. All right. Peace, everybody.
Ciao.
See you in 2 weeks.